Lovely starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rainbows glisten in my head. Just like a child I live in Wonderland. All my dreams are coming true.
Hi and welcome to Handmade by Ditsy Tulip. I'm Mel and thanks for stopping by. In today's video I'm going to share what creative things I've been up to in the last week, and it's quite a bit again actually. Today I'm going to be sharing an update on sewing, so I'll share that first. Then I've got some more paper craft that I've been up to, and then I've actually got out some of the old art materials and I've done a bit of pastel work as well. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let's start with the sewing, and that's the Callie anorak, and it now finally is starting to look like a coat. So I'm super pleased. Let's see if I can get it in shot so you can see. So I did another 2-hour session on this week, and what I did in those 2 hours was add the drawstring, so you can see the drawstring runs all the way around the back, so it kind of nips it in at the waist. I do need to get some matching brass toggles to go on the end there, which I think will make it look a bit nicer. And then the other thing that I've done is set in the sleeves, and that took 2 hours. So that's one thing that I'm finding with this coat, is everything that you do just seems to take ages, and I think it's because you're kind of wrestling with the fabric. The sleeves were the hardest sleeves I've ever had to set in my life, and they're just a kind of a standard set-in sleeve. So the construction wise, you sew the front and back sleeve together and then top stitch it. So hopefully you can see there the top stitching. Then there's some gathering lines kind of in the sleeve, top sleeve area. First of all, it was really difficult to gather the fabric because it's so thick and so heavy, and because it's got a wax coating on, it was really difficult to gather. And then once you'd got it gathered, actually sewing in over the gathers to set it in was really difficult, because I found the sewing machine kept on kind of tugging back on itself. So what the method I found that worked is how normally you just kind of you're holding your fabric at the front of your sewing machine and feeding it through. I actually had to hold it at the front and at the back to help guide it through. And then what I also did is 2 lots of stitching around the arm, the sleeve. I stitched it twice so that it's got that little bit of extra reinforcement as well. And then the only other thing I did is kind of snip into the seam allowance a little bit at the bottom here, so that it gives it a bit of manoeuvrability. So let me just see if I can slip this on to show you. I'm not sure how much you'll see, so you can't see a great deal, but I'm happy with how it kind of fits on the shoulders. And if I stand on the chair, let's see if you can see. So obviously it's got to have a facing attached to it yet at the front, which will give it a bit more give, but I'm kind of happy with how it fits. I was worried that maybe the drawstring wasn't in the right place, but now I've put it on, it seems absolutely fine. So I do have another session on the anorak today. I've got a 2-hour sewing slot to work on that at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So what I'm going to be doing next is the lining. It's all kind of cut out, ready to go. So in case you've not seen my previous videos, I'm stuck on the pins. So I've got the lining pieces all cut out, ready to sew together, and I think those are the next steps, is to make up the lining. So I'm not sure if you can see, this is a beautiful Lady McElroy cotton lawn with beautiful flowers and birds. So I'll keep you posted with how the next steps go with the jacket. Other sewing related stuff, I've been working on the miniature elephant. I've not got him to show you because he's still in progress, but I'm not sure if you've seen, I've recently released the first video on the tutorial for sewing this, where I've been filming little snippets step by step as I make him up. So if you've not ever made one up before and you want to see what's involved before you maybe invest in getting a kit or getting a pattern, then you can check that out. I'll put a link in here and in the video notes if you've not already seen that, then do step by. And I'm not far off finished him, so I'm hoping to get the next video out in the next couple of weeks. So that's all the sewing. Next thing I've been doing is working more on paper flowers. So I've added a few more paper flowers into my gin bottle display. They finally got the gin finished. Well, hubby did, he finished it off in the week, so I was able to use that, because that's my idea, is I want to use these I think really pretty gin bottles to put floral displays in. So the new flowers that have been added, let me just show you. I've got these two lovely Juliet roses. These are the ones that have got kind of 118, I think it is, petals per flower. So each of these here is an individual petal that you kind of glue together and build up the circle, and then you add the larger petals on top. I've then added a couple of yellow California poppies. And then so far I've added one sprig of hydrangea, never know if I'm saying that right. These ones you can't make out of tissue paper, so they don't look quite as realistic as the other flowers, because they're just made out of standard paper, but I think they're a good filler to kind of fill in the gap, so I'm just going to do a few sprigs of that. So that's how that's coming along. I really enjoy making these. It's not complicated at all, but it's very repetitive, so you get in a flow. I've just been putting a series on Netflix or something like that, and then just working on those in the evening. So yeah, if you can think of any other flowers that you think might go well in this display, then do let me know, and I'll search to see if there's a pattern available to make them up in paper form. So that is those. And then the final thing I've done this week, which I'm super happy with, is some pastel painting. Can't believe I've actually created this. So this is a tiger eye, kind of a close-up snippet of a tiger. Now I've actually followed a class on Skillshare. I've never worked with pastels before. In fact, I've not done that much art. I used to be very arty as a teenager. It was the only GCSE that I got an A in, and then I didn't do any for years. You may have seen from some previous posts I've kind of done a bit of drawing and done a bit of painting sporadically over the last few years, but I thought I would give something different a go, working with pastels, which I've not done before. Followed the class on Skillshare, and this happened. I think it's come out brilliantly. I'll just bring it in close to show you. So I thought I'm really happy with how the furs come out. I think it looks really realistic. And the eye as well, I think that light shine in the eye just again makes it look really realistic. So super happy with that. So I'll tell you a little bit about the materials that I've used. One of the key things is you need the right type of paper to work with pastels, and this is called, I think it's called Pastel Matte, and it's quite thick. And it feels a little bit like a very smooth sandpaper, and the difference that makes is the pastel really sticks to the paper and then you can build it up. So what I've done with that tiger is you basically lay down pastel in the background using these pan pastels. I did take some little snippets of video for Instagram, so I'll dot them in as I'm talking so you can see. But what you basically do is you just blot on the background colour using the pan Pastel, and then you go over the top of that with pastel pencils to add all the detail, so adding all the fur and all the details. And because you're using this kind of special pastel paper, it really just works and really layers and looks really realistic. So I was super happy with how that turned out. You follow a reference photo, so I'm nowhere near at the stage yet where I could just kind of come up with an idea in my head and sketch it out or paint it. I have to follow a reference photo, and that's what it guides you through on the Skillshare class. So that's the photo that I used. Oops, you can't see it there. And then that is what I did. So yeah, real close match, which was great. So when you follow a reference photo, you're basically just kind of looking at the different placements and where the different colours are, and then using that, kind of following it along with your own pastel drawing. So yeah, I'm hoping going forward I'll be able to kind of have a reference photo there for reference, but then make my own adjustments to it. But I need to get really great with the techniques before I can do that. So I highly recommend the class on Skillshare. As I say, it was my first time using pastels, and that was what I got out of it. So it's really got to be a good class to get something like that out of a first attempt. What I will do is leave a link to the class in the video notes. With that link, you can try Skillshare free for 2 months. You do have to put your payment details in, but then if you cancel within the 2-month period, then there's no charge applied. And just to make sure I'm being really upfront with you, if you do sign up to the 2-week trial via my link, then I get a referral bonus of £10 as well. So just to be really upfront with you there. But I love Skillshare, I use it all the time. That's why I'm able to do so many different things that I'm trying at the moment, because you can learn so much over on there. So feel free to check it out. So that's it, that's all I've got to share with you today. So plans this week are to get that little elephant finished so that I can release the second part of that tutorial. I want to work some more on the Kalianorak, as I said. I'm going to start the fox, and I'm going to keep doing little bits on the flowers here and there. So do let me know in the comments what you're up to this week. As always, ask any questions if you've got any. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. And have a wonderful week. I'll see you very soon. Bye.